think this is the toughest of choices. Should I pick the rogue, the mage, or the shaman? I think I would have the best chance of doing well as a mage, but I somehow inexplicably feel attracted to the idea of playing a rogue. Although I could do shaman as well. What do you guys think? I could run a poll. And it could be a three-way tie. Right, all in... So we have one person in favor of rogue. Any others? Rogue. Right, two people in favor of rogue. Van, what do you think? I mean, you will be outvoted regardless, unless you picked rogue as well, but I just want to know, you know. Or do you abstain from voting? Come on, Van, what's your pick? Talk to me. Oh. Well, regardless, let's go for the rogue. See how it fares.
They'll never see it coming.
Deathlord, Kazan Mystic, all target dummy. I mean, I love the Deathlord in many decks, especially in the Priest deck, but it's risky business. The Kazan Mystic assumes that our opponent controls a secret of some sort, and otherwise it's a 4-3. The target dummy has its uses, but in very particular decks. Yeah, it's a practical way to see what the guy might have in his deck. Yeah, I mean, what are the odds? Some classes don't have secrets at all. But I mean, if I have to choose between the target dummy and the Deathlord, I mean, come on. I think I have to pick the Kazan Mystic purely because of her stats and because she doesn't really have much of a downside. Yeah, it is a mech, so if I wanted to try to make a mech deck, I could pick the dummy just for that. And it costs enough... What am I thinking? I'm playing a rogue. What's the class mechanic of the rogue, guys? What do most cards that belong to the rogue have in the card text? Well, let's see. The shaman have like all the cards with Wind Fury, and they have cards with Overload. I think the rogue has combo, so we need a card to fire off the combo, and the cheaper the card, the better. So I think that synergizes with her, with most of her class cards. So let's pick the target dummy for that reason alone. I'm really not satisfied with the reasoning on its own. I mean, a 4-3 for fall isn't excellent, but no, let's take the target dummy. Yeah, I'm also assuming I will even get cards with combo, because if I don't, I will just look like a dumbass, like a dummy. The Kazan Mystic is the safe play. The Deathlord is extremely risky, so let's take the middle road. See? Another mech! A mech warp! Will the mech warper give me one crystal back if I play the target dummy? I don't think that's how it works, but you know, what a man can dream. Will the target dummy cost less? I mean, let's be serious here. I have the Anubal Ambusher, which is a crazy good card, and there's the Assassin's Blade, which if buffed, and even if not buffed, can be just absurdly good. And choosing between a really strong minion and a weapon for my character, I mean, this is a common card, but this isn't even common, it's a basic card, so I'm leaning towards the Anubal Ambusher. Deathlord seeming like the best option, come on. Yeah, I like the 4-drop as well. It's cheaper, it's kinda... I wanted to say that it's reliable. It's a 5/5 full fall, and even if it bounces something back, it may be very well to my benefit. So I need to play with that in mind, that I can bounce cards back. Now, with that in mind, I could play the Gnomish Inventor. If I play the Anubal Ambusher with the Gnomish Inventor on the board, and the Gnomish Inventor comes back to my hand, I get another card. Then again, Sap is kinda... It can be amazing. It's removal. It's not hard removal, it doesn't kill the creature, but at the very least it buys time. And last but not least, there's the Argent Squire, one of the best 1-drops in the game. Of course, some people discount 1-drops as useless and just tend to go for the 2-drops, but... Yeah, I mean... This is a tough choice. Let's pick the Argent Squire. I probably will not. Yeah. I will take the Argent Squire just because it's common, but it's not a basic card. I will probably get some removal later on, some more effective removal. But you want some minions on the board, right? And this is the perfect 1-drop. And even later on, it can be kind... Later on in the game, if you draw the Argent Squire, would probably rather have had Sap to remove something from the board. I don't know. The combo cards, right? It's just 1 crystal more, but screw it, let's go for the Squire. It's a good 1-drop, it's a good card. Shiv, the Patriarch, or Stone Task, yeah, I'm going for Shiv. Mogushan Warden for the taunt, War Golem, with for the decent body, or the Silver Moon Guardian for another Divine Shield. If I could get the Blood Knight, that would be hilarious, but I don't think I should count on it. I mean, I don't want to pick the Wall Golem straight up, but the Mogushan Warden, it's a nice taunt, but that's all it is. Silver Moon Guardian it is. Tinkertown Technician, synergy with mechs. So far I have a single mech. But it doesn't cost anything, I could just... Well, you missed a few cards, Van. We're voting on what I should play and we picked Rogue. And so far I have a Target Dummy, Argent Squire, Shiv, a Nubar Ambusher and a Silver Moon Guardian. I was thinking about trying to get a mech deck, but you know how reliable the arena can be. And I missed I disregarded the Assassin's Blade for the Nubar Ambusher, so... I think Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil is one of the better cards. Yeah, if I only had that, right? It would be a 6-attack weapon with 4 uses. That's crazy. I mean, this is amazing, but Assassinate is straight up removal. I mean, this is removal as well. You can just sacrifice some damage on your face. Yeah. Of course it does. Of course it works with the hero ability. It turns it into a fall 2 knife, which is pretty decent. And if I combo it, it also gives a minion attack. Yeah, I should pretty much definitely... I have so many cheap cards, I should definitely get the ones that have combo in them. Right, so I have the Stranglethorn Tiger, a flying machine. Oh my! Guys, look at this. I mean, it's not smart. Wait a minute. Imagine having 7 crystals, being able to drop this down, and the oil. So that's just a fall creature with charge. That's not all that amazing, and it buffs my weapon. But a flying machine, buffed by the oil, deals 8 damage in a single turn. I know, right? As long as I can pull the combo off, as long as I can get this to work. If I have more minions on the board, it might pick something else entirely. And the Stranglethorn Tiger is a really decent card, so I'm not really feeling comfortable. Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Well, we're about to find out. Is the flying machine even a good idea to get? I mean, no one expects or respects the flying machine. There's such a good pick right over here. Yeah, let's go for it. Assassin's Blade for the oil. I mean, yeah, this guy has charge and I will almost certainly have a weapon when he comes around. The thing about tactician, yeah, blah blah, synergy with mechs, with my single mech. No, Assassin's Blade, definitely. Betrayal, Murloc Raider, all mad scientists. I don't have any secrets. I'm completely open about being a road. I stab people in the back. A Murloc isn't the brightest of ideas, but Betrayal could be handy in those situations where there are, say, 3 cards on the board on the enemy side. Yep. Ooh! Clockwork Giant doesn't seem like a likely thing to... Big Game Hunter is the removal. It's not the... It's probably the removal I deserve. So for this thing to be castable, my opponent needs to have 2 cards. But... how many people in the arena actually go for the control decks? Like, I don't know, Handlock or something. Because I'm always fascinated by giants, you know. Yeah, Big Game Hunter is excellent removal against such a thing, because people want to have giants in their decks, as do I. I mean, the Hungry Crab doesn't really... How likely am I to encounter a Murloc anyway? It's a lot better if you have at least a single Murloc in your deck, but on its own, meh. So it's between the Giant and the Hunter, and the Hunter is for killing giants, and the Giant is for killing everything else. The Big Game Hunter with combos. Oh, I see. Imagine that. Betrayal on something huge, and then Big Game Hunter to finish the huge thing off. Yeah. I will miss the Clockwork Giant, I really will. And all these circumstances in which the opponent will have so many cards in his hand, I will be... I'm regretting this decision already, but let's go for the guy that can destroy the giants. A second flying machine? No, I'm not that crazy. I can buff the machine with the Dark-Eyed Dwarf or summon some weaklings. Yes, you have to let it go. The Clockwork Giant... The Clockwork Giant, though, that will not love me back. It's just the way it works. Right. I think the Dark-Eyed Dwarf is quite an obvious pick here. I mean, I want some minions to be able to summon, because what the hell do I have so far? 10 cards, and how many of them are minions? 1, 2, 3... Well, half of them are minions, so that's not all that bad. Right, the flying machine is a mech. But then again, I don't have anything to synergize with mechs. It's a catch-32 or whatever. I don't have mechs, so I don't pick cards that synergize with mechs, and when I see mechs that do well when synergized with, I don't pick them either. I mean, picking the second flying machine would be quite insane. I think the Dark-Eyed Dwarf is where it's at. Yeah, but the buffed up Wind Fury, no, it's a bad idea. I would rather pick the Raisin Fan Hunter, because that at least gives me some board presence. But I'll take the Dark-Eyed Dwarf. Shieldmaster, Oasis Snapshot, or the Stormwind Champion. The Stormwind Champion sounds like such a good pick, but nah. I want the Taunt. I'm kinda heavy on the 4 drops, but screw it, I'm taking the Shieldmaster. Scarlet Crusader, Direwolf Alpha, another thing. Ooh, another thing that can buff the flying machine. Oh, the Darkscale Healer. Get the Wolf. Yeah, exactly, because it's 5 health. At 4 health, most people can kinda deal with it, but at 5 health you can't even Flame Strike it to death. Frost Elemental is amazing, at slowing people down. The Torrent Warrior, people don't like this card, but I'm kind of partial to it. It cannot be removed all that easily, although it's kind of expensive for what it offers. I think I'll take the Frost Elemental. What? Not the Frost Elemental? Why? Ooh, right, I could shift the Torrent, get a card and get it enraged. And I do need the 3-drops. But I also need the 6-drops, and the Frost Elemental is one of the best fucking... I mean, look at it, it slows people down, it's a 5/5, and it's just outright good. But I do need the early drops. I have, like, what? The Big Game Hunter, which is not really an early drop, and the Flying Machine. So there's a huge rift here that I need to fill up. Let's take the Torrent Warrior. Right, there's the Unstable Ghoul, which is a nice taunt, but not... which could be comboed with the Torrent, but I don't know about this. There's the Buddha Bay Bodyguard, a late taunt, and the Priestess of Elune, which heals me. I'm not necessarily looking for that. I only have a single 2-drop, and it's not a 2-drop you want to drop on its own. I need the early cards. Youthful Brewmaster, for what? For the Big Game Hunter, maybe. All for the Dark-Iron Dwarf. Concealing would be nice if I had something really worthwhile to conceal. The Brewmaster, but... I mean, I could combo it with the Big Game Hunter or something. I don't know, I'm tempted to take the Raisin Fan Hunter just for the creatures, because it's a 3/2 and a 1/1. Well, this guy's a 3/2, so I guess that's enough attack to... But he's not an early card. You want to bounce something useful back. You don't want to just play him outright. Direwolf Conceal. On what, turn 3? But you conceal everything, and if you conceal your board, suddenly your taunts are no longer working, you know. I'm torn between the Brewmaster and the Hunter. Yeah, let's take the Brewmaster for something like a heal. Alright. The Defias Ringleader is a great... Imagine target dummy Defias Ringleader combo. Sounds juicy. I could of course pick up the Elven Archer, but I think bouncing the Defias Ringleader is a better idea. My curve is starting to get weird, so I should probably work on that. The Spider Tank is an amazing 3-drop, and I need 3-drops, so that's that. And it's a mech, which means pretty much nothing at this point. This also generates a mech, and this is a Murloc that generates a token Murloc, which is kinda nice, but meh. Spider Tank. Jillwind Yeti, of course. I'm not gonna take Vanish or Youthful Brewmaster over that. I mean, Vanish can be nice in certain circumstances, but nah. Abomination, Ogre Ninja, or the Auctioneer. I know that the Auctioneer is nice, but not in this context. I don't have enough spells to warrant this pick, and the Ogre Ninja has Stealth and is a 6/6 for 5. Can't argue about that. I know you can't be certain what it will hit, but whatever it hits, it will hit hard. And it cannot be killed by the Big Game Hunter. I mean, I like the taunt on the Abomination, but no. What was an interesting pick? What was my last pick before the Ninja? Spider Tank? Oh, the Ogre Ninja. Well, I like the Ogres. I know they are not reliable, but so many things that allow... Of course, the Spiteful Smith is this It's an obvious pick here. I mean, if I have the Spiteful Smith and the Assassin's Blade, which is right around... How much is the Assassin's Blade anyway? Wait, did I... No, it's 5. If I have the Assassin's Blade and the Smith Enraged, that's 5. And the Tinkle Oil, that's 8. And can be used like 4 times in the perfect circumstances. But even on the regular dagger, it's amazing. So I'm not even really considering these cards, but... I'm drafting so many things for bouncing. I have the Brewmaster, I have the Ambusher. Is another chance for me to get a Brewmaster? No. Let's take the Smith. Loot Holder for the card draw. Bluegill Warrior for the charge. Or Ogre Magi for the damage from spells, which I don't really have an abundance of, so I think I'll take the Loot Holder. A decent 2-drop, and I'm not in desperate need of 2-drops, but I could use... Stat-wise, I will be very early game heavy with this. But I could use the card draw. Another ninja. I mean, head crack. Hold on. I love comboing head crack with pretty much anything. Perdition's Blade is nice, don't get me wrong. I love weapons, and I have things for weapons. And it deals damage. But head crack can just kill the opponent off. But then there's the second Ogre Ninja, which I would also love to have. Yeah, I know. Look at this pick. Perdition's Blade, Head Crack, and Ogre Ninja. This can end games. You can just keep bashing your opponent. It doesn't really matter what you do with the other cards. You keep dealing damage. If you have your dagger and can still deal damage... Yeah, I know. I've seen that, I've done that. And the art on the card is amazing as well. Let's take Head Crack just for the art. Gurubashi Berserker Shiv combo? Gurubashi Berserker Unstable Ghoul, perhaps? I don't know, the Gurubashi Berserker is a nice idea, but here's a second Spiteful Smith that can buff my weapon up. But I did not pick a second weapon, so that's something to keep in mind. And the Stone Skin Gargoyle, I mean, it's a nice idea to have it, and if I get to buff it with the oil, maybe, but I don't think so. So it's between the Gurubashi Berserker and the Spiteful Smith. I mean, the Stone Skin Gargoyle would perfectly fit into my curve, but no. So what do you guys think? Gurubashi or the Smith? Yeah, I mean, the Gargoyle would be basically admitting that I have to get the Tinkerzol, and I have to get it on this creature, which means I would have to combo it, and it would have to be pretty much the only creature on the board, or else I would be taking chances. And even if I manage to do that, it's still a full health creature, which can quite easily be removed. I can dance around with it, but come on. So I'm thinking between the Gurubashi Berserker and the Spiteful Smith. I mean, I already have a single Spiteful Smith. And the Gurubashi Berserker has more health. And will have more attack. If I only... if it gets less health, yeah. 2 for Smith. Huh. But what about the Berserker? It's such an amazing card. I mean, I can't... I'm not a mage, so I can't Fire Blast it, but I can try to shiv it or whatever. As long as it receives any sort of damage. It can be amazing. Yeah, they will, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? If they are determined enough to destroy it, let them. They are using up cards to do so. I mean, I like the idea of a Spiteful Smith, but that will... It buffs my weapon, so it means I have to use... I have to face tank, basically. I have to deal damage while sacrificing my own health, and I don't have pretty much anything to heal myself back up. While the Gurubashi Berserker takes care of business on its own. I mean, I like the idea of buffing my weapon and hitting face, but... always buff my hero ability. Yeah, if I smack them in the face, it will indeed not hurt me. I feel like I will greatly regret not having the Gurubashi Berserker if I just leave it be. Screw it, I'm taking the Berserker. I might regret that choice, but I will still make that choice. Right, Brewmaster again. What is it with these Brewmasters anyway? Everything is better with my face. I don't know about that. I could get Sprint, which gives me a handful of cheap cards, which is pretty much all I have. Or I can get a cheap card to get with Sprint. I mean, what am I supposed to keep bouncing? Then again, I have cards worth bouncing. I have the Defier's Ringleader. I have the Wolf, which I can, I don't know, bounce back to my hand just to hide it. Pointless. I have the Youthful Brewmaster, which I can bounce to bounce something else. Not really intelligent. Hang on. If I bounce something back into my hand, that counts as a card I have played, which means I can combo Headcrack and get it back, and I get a card to play later on, right? So that's tempting to get the Brewmaster, but no, I will get Sprint. I really need card draw in this deck. Vanish, Deadly Poison, all ships can. Vanish would also allow me to put things back on the board and remove the enemy's creatures from the board. Ship's Cannon sounds amazing if you have a deck full of pirates, which I clearly do not have even a single one. But Deadly Poison can buff my weapon obscenely so. Deadly Event. Yeah, I'm debating it. I mean, I don't really have expensive cards, so what if I face something I just need to remove? This is my best shot. You'll have to recast it. I mean, should I just put all of my eggs into the single basket that is my character ability? And any weapons I could get? Deadly Poison couldn't... I do have a sea of cheap cards, so if I use Vanish, well, I may burn cards, that's one thing that worries me, but if he cannot recast all of his creatures back on the board, he'll just be stuck there, summoning one of them at a time. I mean, I know Deadly Poison could basically kill the opponent before he has the chance to kill me with anything else, but I think Vanish is a safer choice. I mean, I do play a Warlock with 2 Twisting Nevers, so Vanish is something that just naturally appeals to me. Alright, Betrayal, Tauren Warrior, or a Puddle Stomper. Again, cheap cards. I could get a second Betrayal as removal. Do I really need more 2-drops? I think I need Betrayal more than anything. I mean, I can just try to flood the board with what I have here. I think I have enough cheap cards, which is kind of surprising. I have the Target Dummy, which costs 0, the Argent Squire. Yeah, I'll have to rush people down, basically. Or should I take the Tauren Warrior and just... I have a single one already, I don't need it. I need Betrayal, I need removal. Shiv, again, Cold Blood. All Lord of the Arena, one expensive card I can have in my deck. Cold Blood. Yeah, I know, right? I know what you have in mind. I think I know what you have in mind. Flying Machine, Cold Blood. Yeah, imagine that. Even better. Let's fantasize for a moment, right? Flying Machine. Where's the oil? How much is the oil anyway? Right, Flying Machine, Tinker's Oil, that's 4 attack. Cold Blood, that's 8 attack. So that's 16 damage in a single turn from a single goddamn minion. If it works. I'm tempted by the Lord of the Arena because he has Taunt and he's kinda expensive, which is exactly what I don't have. Because all the late game cards are spells. The most expensive thing I have is the Spiteful Smith, along with the Berserker and the Ninja. But Cold Blood seems like a Ooh, I get the chance to pick him again, but I get the choice between the spell Raging Worgen, Wind Fury, +1. Guys. Taunt, Silence, Wind Fury. What do I do? Yes, I know! I would pick all 3 of them. I need all the 3 things. This is a lot of damage on its own, you don't have to buff it. This is crucial because you need silence in most circumstances. There's a horrendous number of minions that just need to be silenced, taunt minions that need to be silenced for my damage to get through. And then there's the Raging Worgen. If I put it on the board early on and can cast Cold Blood on it, let's say combo it off the target dummy, and get this guy injured, that's like what? That's 16 damage again in a single turn. Yeah, it's amazing as a combo, but I do need a... Let's forget about the curve. I could use an expensive creature, I could use the Worgen for all the combos that could occur, but I need the silence. Yeah, but the silence, exactly! Screw it, I'm taking the silence. Oh, this is one of the few circumstances when questing adventure might actually work. Yeah, exactly, safety first. And this is one of the few cards that actually... I mean, if you have the questing adventure, this is one of the few circumstances when getting the target dummy actually makes sense. It's a taunt, and it's cheap as hell because it costs nothing. You know, silence, I wouldn't call silence OP. You can never have enough silence. Pretty much every card does something. And in most circumstances you do want to silence it, but in most circumstances you cannot. Because a limited number of creatures has silence, and a huge number of creatures has abilities. I mean, I don't want the Pyromancer. I have a multitude, a throng of very weak creatures. I don't have too many spells. I will definitely take the adventure, and that's the last card I will pick. Yeah. So I have this insane deck, and not in a good way. Let's see how it fares. So my early drops are, theoretically, the target dummy. Although I wouldn't want it as a first turn drop. I would love to save it for a combo. And then there's the Argent Squire. And I can of course hope for the Ringleader, the Hoarder, or the Ghoul. Alright, let's try this out.